Hello likers, welcome back to our channel. It's me, your fave, your one and only, your baby girl Malika. So likers, today we are doing the critical review of Mr. Aloy series, When Marriage Becomes a Nightmare, episode 29. It starts with Jenny being so pissed at Clara because Clara is very sorry, I say Clara, at Benny. Benny is very disrespectful. She has become, Benny with her father. Benny becomes something else. She's been very disrespectful, and Jonathan is not helping matters because Jonathan saw what happened, but he chose to keep quiet because he wanted to hear how his daughter was going to defend him, in the presence of his sister and her aunt. So he is like, now he seeing that they are beating her, he jumps in. This is not right because now he is trying to destroy this child's life. Jenny is making Jonathan to understand that this thing that you're doing, the seed you're sowing in this girl's life, is very bad. Yes, it's a very bad seed because you've made this girl to go against her mother, and now you're trying to make her to go against everybody. But I'm telling you that this seed that you're planting, is going to ruin your life. But Jonathan is being Jonathan. All he can do is to warn Benny to stay away from his daughter, because to him, Benny is not supposed to, Jenny is not supposed to beat her, no matter what she says. How can you say that they are not supposed to beat your child? When the child is being disrespectful, why would she not be beaten? She needs to be beaten. But I trust Jenny, because Jenny will not take that nonsense from anybody. She will not take it even from her brother, no matter what happens. So Jonathan, now when you pet a child like this, what do you expect her to be? What do you expect from her? But I'm just glad Jenny is not taking that nonsense. So the next thing shows the PI that was hired by Hanks, returned to Hanks's office to give him a feedback because he has discovered a lot of things doing his underground investigation, because that with stuff like this, the police would definitely drag their feet like there's no tomorrow. They'll not do things the way you want it. So this guy is, seeing, he has discovered a lot of things because he realized that those numbers were registered under different people that are not even aware that their names are being used somewhere. He also discovered where, this stuff was coming from. He also discovered that it was coming from the hotel and all the rest, that those numbers, Jonathan and Clara, the messages they received were from the hotel, which means that somebody or some people from that hotel are involved. Yes, because how do you explain that there are CCTV cameras, but once a crime is supposed to be committed, that same day the CCTV cameras were turned off? So why were they turned off? What happened? Who turned them off? So Jonah, that was when Hanks said that something is wrong, and when Hanks also heard that the messages that were sent to them were sent from the hotel, and also, but now the message that was sent to Hanks was sent from Benny's phone, and Hanks has not been in contact with Benny ever since. So they are trying to figure out who is doing what. But now, to conclusion, Hanks has discovered that somebody is after him, or some people, and that maybe it was Jonathan who sent, that message to him from Benny's phone. But at the same time, the PI told Hanks that no, it's not possible because I investigated Jonathan. The same time that that message was sent to you and you left, Jonathan was in your company. He was not at home. The message from Benny from he pinned it to the, how do they call it? The pole, pinned it to Jonathan's house, not your office. So it means that somebody is trying to play a prank, a very big one. So now Hanks is talking of suing the hotel because he cannot understand why the CCTV will be turned off the same day. Then the messages that Jonathan and Clara received were coming from that same hotel. So who is playing that game? And those were two different numbers. So who are the people that are playing those games? So now the PI has to get to work because now a lot of things are happening. Jonathan needs to sue the hotel and they need to discover what is going on, So the PI is like going to dig more, to do a little bit of more digging. So the next scene shows Jonathan Please, guys, I can't laugh. Jonathan who is telling Emeka that he can't believe that Clara had the temerity, she had the guts to leave the marriage, like to pack up and leave, because like he thought Clara was going to succumb to pressure, the pressure that he put her under, based on the fact that they have a child together. But Emeka is shocked. Like Emeka is kind of confused. Be like, Emeka was more like, guy, I thought you wanted your wife to leave. So at this point, I don't understand you. Why are you being self-centered? You wanted her to leave. Now she's leaving. Why are you crying? I don't get what's happening. But now Jonathan never wanted Clara to leave. Jonathan wanted Clara to stop, working in that restaurant. Jonathan wanted Clara to leave, to quit her job. Jonathan never wanted Clara to leave. You understand? So that's what Jonathan is trying to make. It's making this Emeka to understand that I never wanted my wife to leave. I wanted my wife to stay. I just wanted her to, to leave her job, but not that she should leave leave her marriage. What do you mean that I wanted her to leave her marriage? But now, and Jonathan is thinking about what is he going to do, because remember, he has resigned his work. He has no money. He's broke. He's a very proud Igbo man. He's very broke. And we all know Igbo culture, how it is. They take care of their women. Yes, that is normal for them, Igbo men, which is normal, which is how it's supposed to be. So he doesn't want that people will see that his woman is independent and he is broke. But now his friend Emeka is making him to understand that you have to, you were supposed to be happy, because now you have a lot of freedom. You should look for these rich men's kids that have plenty money, that are single, to start, which means Emeka is indirectly asking Jonathan to become a gigolo. You understand? He wants Jonathan to be a gigolo, to be taking money from women, because now he has the freedom, he has his home. But guy, Jonathan is hungry. Jonathan is broke and hungry. Hey God, I beg. Jonathan is broke and hungry. Where do you expect him to get money to maintain that lifestyle? So Emeka is pushing, like, this is when you know that this guy is so wicked. He's a bad friend. He is pushing Jonathan further, more deep. Like us, I pray people out there, whether being men or women, be careful with the kind of people you associate with, because it's either they make you or break you. Yes, it's either they rescue or sink you. And Emeka is one of those people. Now he's saying that Jonathan likes to eat too much. Jonathan is a foodie, because why is Jonathan crying about food? Stuff like that. Jonathan is supposed to jubilate. He's supposed to be happy that finally his wife is gone. Now he has all the freedom of the world to do whatever it is that he wants to do. Why is he crying? And besides, he's here. Why is he crying? This same Emeka that cannot buy a drink for his friend without asking him to pay. Jonathan is crying that hunger will buy him. Emeka is just laughing. You've not seen anything yet. Excuse me. You carry you sit on your own. You carry your legs. You go and resign a job that you know that or put food on your table. You've not even worked for up to a month. You want to resign, and now you're crying. So the next scene shows Clara at her restaurant, serving her customer, and her sister, her sister-in-law, who turned her sister, Jenny, showed up, and Clara was very pleased to see her, because, like us, honestly speaking, you want to know that some people have your back in time of crisis. Yes, you want to know that it's not just about talking. It's not just about cho. No, but they actually have your back. It is very important, So Clara and Jenny, sat down, and to talk, like, because at this point, ever since Clara moved out, nobody has been there to see her except for Jenny, who went now, because she needed her to settle a bit before anything. And Clara is expressing how she feels, how things are. It's tough, Like as it's tough. It's tough for everybody. It will definitely be tough for everyone, because imagine, this is your family. This is the only family you've ever known. This is your life. This is the only thing you know. To see that your family is divided. You understand? But she did the right thing, because rather than throwing them out, she did well to leave. So she stays in a hotel, and Like I can't lie, like a sisterhood is proud of her decision. Yes. I wish that more women that are out there could stand up on their feet and take certain decisions. Look at, I'm not going out of context, okay? Just take a look at Mama Osinachi's husband, late Mama Osinachi. Now he has been sentenced to die by hanging. You understand? Imagine that if she had walked out of that marriage, yes, they would have shouted, it will take a year or two, people will chill. Another thing will come up, people will think about it. They will start talking about it. But look at it today. Those kids, sometimes you have to think, if you want to think about your children, think rather than making them orphans. Go out of that house to take care of your children. Yes, because it's only somebody who is alive that can take care of other people. Today she is no more. Her husband will buy by hanging. What will the children be? The same children you were trying to protect, they'll be orphans. So Jenny is trying to console her sister Aloy by telling her she herself she went through a divorce. People criticize her, but she thought of her mental health. Rather than being depressed, broke in a marriage, you're not loved, you're lonely, you're married but you're lonely, you're being tormented emotionally, mentally, physically. She walked out of her marriage and today she's financially independent, financially stable, you know. So at least she's there to help and console her sister-in-law, you know. And Clara is determined more than ever to push forward. And Kenny also has promised to help her look for a place. You see that she has people standing by her. It can only be Emeka, her mother, and Jonathan and her daughter who will judge her. But at the end of the day, you cannot live your life for people. Even the children that you give birth to, a day will come that they will resent you. They will reject you. But you cannot live your life for anybody. You cannot live your life for anybody. I'm glad she took that decision because a lot of women buy in silence just because they want to please society. Just because they don't want the public to criticize them. They don't want them to see them as, people that are irresponsible mothers. Because to them it's only irresponsible mothers that can abandon their children and their homes, to go outside. No, it is necessary that people think about themselves first. So the next thing shows Jonathan that is sitting in their bedroom, playing on his tablet. Then he heard a knock on the door and he asked the person to walk in. So he tried to adjust himself and it was his daughter, who walked in. Now, eventually, before Clara left the house, whenever there is something at school, Benny will definitely go to her mother to tell her that, Mama, I need this, Mom, I need this, Mom, I need that. So they have an excursion, they have to go somewhere, they have to visit some ministries, they have to do one or two things. And she needs some money, and they are asking, based on the way they are going to, their movements, that she's asking for 50K. She needs 50K to do that, to go for the excursion and all the rest, And now her father is here broke. He has resigned. And the company policy, it seems as though Jonathan didn't know about Hanks's company policy. Hanks's company policy states that if you do not work, you do not cover your month, you cannot be paid. He did not work for up to a month. He thought he was going to be paid for the few times that he worked, but unfortunately they told him it doesn't work like that, So eventually he wasn't paid. And now his daughter is here. She needs 50K. Where is he getting 50 bangs from? And to her father is not supposed to behave like that, because he screamed like, what do you want to do? Do you know how much 50K is? A broke man talking. And she had to tell her dad that, come on, Dad. She had to remind her father that the other time they asked me, it was even 100K. I went to Mom. She didn't, without a word, she gave me the 100K. So what are you trying to say? You see? Hey. And it dawned on the man that, hey, so you want to compare your mother and I, but you are the father, you're the head of the family, you are the man, which means you just have to take out the money and give to your child without blinking, without saying anything, without saying a word. But now he doesn't have it. Where will he take it from? So to him, his daughter is not supposed to, to come to him with stuff like that. She was supposed to, like ask it when her mother was there at home. That, like, what type of father are you? God, what type of father are you? You know, he's confused now. Where does he get that money? He's making his daughter understand that he is broke. So the daughter is either, okay, then if you're broke, ask mom, you know. But I cannot go to mom and ask her anything, because to her it's more like she's sticking with her dad, because her mom, now it is being now that her mother abandoned them. So she's sticking with her dad, but her dad can go and ask her mother. And Jonathan being a proud man, but I can see Jonathan asking for that money. I'm serious, guys. I can see him. Jonathan being a proud man, he's saying that he cannot ask, because if he asks his wife, it will show that he's incapable of taking care of his family, which his wife already know that he's incapable of taking care of the family. You understand? And now Jonathan is sitting like he's imagining, like, how is it possible that Clara will leave this house with, see, like us. This is one thing I want to say. Any man who knows that he's so proud and can take care of his family, there's no need for him to want his wife to help. Yes. It's okay. Her money should be her money, and your money should be the one for the family. It's that simple. Since you're a man, you are a Bantu man, you're so proud, and you want to prove a point. Yes, just go, just go and do you. And now he promised his daughter that no, he's not going to ask, he's going to hustle the money and make sure she gets what she wants, But mind you, that is where you people will start having downfall, because you will not be able to give in to what you're saying. You will not be able to fulfill your promises. And they will start, because then she will realize that almost at the end of the day, my mother is the backbone of this family. Yes, she will realize it, because Jonathan is that foolish. He doesn't know that he needs to wake up, get himself out of the house to go and be hunting for jobs. No, he will sit at home, feeling like the world owes him a lot. He will not want to do anything. Yes. So the next thing shows the two unfortunate beings, Debbie and Emeka, jubilating. They are rejoicing. They are happy about the fact that they have done their best, in separating a family. I don't know people that will really sit like this and be happy, that they have outdone themselves, by trying to split a family, by tearing a family apart. I don't know. It's only a devil that will sit and be happy about stuff like that. But these people were happy that they succeeded in their mission. And right now, that family, and Debbie was even surprised that Clara left so soon, that because to her, she knows that Clara is all about her family. I bet they were jubilating. She was like us. We should pray not to have friends as such. Yes. We should really pray, because it takes divine intervention, not to have people like this in your life. And for her, being separated is not enough. She wants them to divorce. That is what she wants. That's what she's pushing at. But she's forgetting something. That if Clara divorces Jonathan, Clara is single, there is a probability that Clara and Hans go to reunite. Yes, I can see that probability. I don't know what she's not saying. She's thinking that she will destroy. But at the end of the day, everything will come to light to show that Hank was innocent. Yes, because, and Emeka made her to understand that Jonathan will be so difficult for Jonathan to leave his wife, because Clara is Jonathan's backbone. Jonathan is a broke ass nigger. Yes. He made her to understand that Jonathan is so broke that it will not be easy for him to leave Clara. Like us, we are going to end this video. Thank you so much. Like us, please always think of your mental health. Okay, always protect your mental health. Be careful of the relationship that you get into. Don't get into one that you'll be marrying your enemy. Please protect your mental health at all costs. Think about you first before any other person. On this note, I have to say thank you so much. Bye, guys.